after the lockdown, immediately after the lockdown. All right. So you're welcome. Thank you very much, everyone. So I just want to spend a very short time with us, maybe less than 40 minutes to be out of here. All right. So today I want us to discuss about how to close a sale. Many of us struggle with closing sales. You wonder why after your sales process, your customers or your ideal clients don't buy from you. And it's simple. They've not made a decision. And if you are unable to make a decision as a salesperson to get your customers to say, yes, I need your product. Yes, take my money. Yes, I want this. Then trust me, you're going to struggle in making sales for a very long time in your business. So another strategy, there are different ways of closing sales, but today I want us to focus on how you can move from storytelling to story selling, the power of storytelling in closing sales. How you can move from just telling a story to story selling, selling to your customers through the story you're telling. Some people will say how to sell without selling. All right, that's another phase, how to sell without selling. And the only way you can sell without selling, you can sell to your customers without them feeling like you're selling to them, is through storytelling. All right, so let's talk about storytelling. And in the course of our discussion, I'm going to show us how to transit from storytelling to story selling. All right, so do you know that you can sell anything to anybody? Anything, even if it's urine, you can sell anything to anybody with the power of storytelling. You can sell anything to anybody just with the power of storytelling. Why do I say so? Because if you understand the meaning of storytelling, then you will know that storytelling is more of a reimagination of reality. You reimagine a reality that already exists. You reimagine it and paint it as a picture for someone to how do I put it? For someone to see, experience the transformation of what your product or your service is offering through your story. All right. So it can serve as an introduction into what you are doing when you are having a sales conversation with your client, or it can just be like a normal sales discussion, one-on-one, you and your client. So what am I trying to get at? It's all about the strategy you use in your sales conversation. There are different strategies you can use in your sales conversation based on a lot of factors, but I'm not here to talk about the factors for different factors for sales conversation. I'm focused more on storytelling, how to sell to your customers, to your clients, without actually selling to them. But at the end of the day, you were able to help them make a decision to buy from you. Okay. So a story, what's a story? A story is a series of events or behavior or an expression of what has already happened in the past. That's simply what a story is. A series of events or behavior or an expression of what has happened in the past. So it's your ability to pass a message using characters. That is what storytelling is. Your ability to pass a message using characters. Now, those character varies. It could be you in this, you could be the character in the story, it could be a friction, it could be other people's, it could be other characters. Other people can serve as your character in a story. All right. So storytelling is an experience of sharing, it's an experience of sharing experiences. All right, let me take it again. Storytelling is an experience of sharing experiences through a message. All right. So if you can share your experience, if you can share the experience of, oh my god, someone is on my door, if I don't attend to them, they won't let me be. So just give me a moment. How do I do this now? I can't disconnect this live. I am busy, I'm busy, please. I can't disconnect this light to go check on the door. All right, sorry about that interruption. I was looking for where to off my camera or pause, but on YouTube, there's nothing like light. There's nothing like pause. I am busy, oh, chat. Are you guys serious? There's nothing like pause on YouTube, and that is why it's called live. All right, so let's continue. Let's just disregard the knock on the door. All right, sorry for that interruption. So, a story is a series of events or behavior, like I said before, is a series of events or behavior whereby you express the expression of an event. You express the expression of an event or a behavior of what has happened in the past. So it's your ability to pass a message using characters, and the character could be your character or other people's character. That's what storytelling is all about. All right. So storytelling is an experience of sharing your experiences through a message. Okay, so you could use it as a way of narrating an event or experiences with the aim of passing a message. You can narrate your experience or other people's experience or an event, but the goal is to pass a message through the story. I can remember when we were small, those days, there's this program they do on TV they call Tales by Moonlight. When I was small, every Sunday 6 p.m. I don't miss that event. Tales by Moonlight is more like it's an elderly man sitting down under the moon and telling story to kids. I always love that. And when I got admission to study, I think not really university. I got during Just Crisis. I was born and brought up in Jos, so we had crisis. So my dad, being an Igbo man, he was like, okay, we are 7 children, so he divided us that some of us should go to the east and school, so that if something happened in the north, the entire family will not perish. So unfortunately, I was among those deported to go school in the east. So when I spent like 10 to 15 years, Abby, yeah, I spent almost 15 years with my grandfather and my aunt. So in the village, when I'm in the village, in the evening when we are done with dinner, my aunt always tell us stories. She'll bring up plenty story book, tell us stories about the tortoise, story about the snake, plenty stories. All right. So when you're telling story, remember that at the end of the day, you're to pass a message. So at the end of every storytelling, they'll ask, what did you learn? So that they'll be sure that the message was passed. So we all have learned, we all learn faster through storytelling. All right, we learn faster even in school. We learn better, we learn faster through storytelling. Just like what they say, story and fact tells, but story sells. So meaning when you are in school, if you notice in secondary school, I can remember I didn't do well in English. I didn't do well in fact I missed all my English classes because the teacher, whenever he comes to teach, he always flog. When he asks questions and we can't answer, he always use a big cane to flog us on our butts. And I hate it when someone flog me on my butt. So once the man is about to enter the class, I take excuse and I leave. So that's why you guys might have noticed that I'm not really good in English, but I did a very good job in learning English by watching educative movies and reading books. All right. So now I don't like that teacher because when he comes to the class, all he do is facts, 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 facts. He just tell us facts. It's not enjoyable. But I could remember the same secondary school, my geography, is it geography? Yeah, geography teacher. I love that man so much. In fact, geography was a course I did all straight A's. Why? Because whenever he comes, the way he he teaches geography. He tells a story, and whenever he comes and starts teaching, everything is just sinking in. Why? Because when he's teaching, he's telling a story. He's expressing events through images. And as he's talking, I'm picturing everything he's saying in my head because he's drawing things, illustrating on the board. All right. So that is the importance of storytelling. So in school, many of us have experienced this common threat. You like a teacher because that teacher was able to teach things to you, to teach you something to the lowest level where you can easily understand. And most at times, the reason why you love these teachers is because when they are teaching, they tell stories. So you tend to understand them better, and you grow in fact, you grow a natural liking to them. That's how powerful storytelling is. Now, if that's how powerful storytelling is, as young as we were when we were growing up, they were telling us stories. Unlike this new world generation that they tell them stories in bed. All right, when we were growing up, our own is moonlight story. We stay under the moon, the elderly person in the house. My granddad, oh, I missed him so much. This man would tell me, he has told me all the stories of everything that happened in the World War Two and Three, the War of Biafra and everything. So he always tell us that story under the moon in the evening. And guess what? Those memories will stick forever in the mind. It hardly leaves you. All right. So, because human beings think with images and learn through story, it's very important you learn how to tell story. And in the process of telling your story, you do what? You deliver your message and help people make a decision to buy from you. And that is the phase that's the phase of transition. That's the transition of storytelling to story selling. All right, so let's get back to the whole storytelling to story selling episode because I know I digressed a little with the distraction from my dog. All right, so the first thing first, we need to define the word selling. What is selling? For those of us that are new to this channel, you're welcome. Please do well to share this live. Tap on the share button, share this live, post it on your WhatsApp status, post it anywhere, invite your friends. And if this is your first time, you're welcome. Do well to like this video at the end. Trust me, you will like it if you gained value. And don't forget to subscribe. All right. Now, I did a series on selling in my past section. So you may do well after this section to scroll back and check out the series I did on storytelling. Okay, so sorry, the series I did on selling. I've done a lot of series on selling, but just in a summary, what is selling? Because we are here to talk about how to tell a story and transit your storytelling to story selling in order to make a sale, in order to help your customers reach that decision making of I want to buy now. All right. So what is selling? Selling is educating or persuading. I don't want to use the word convincing because that word convincing, some people may misinterpret it. So let's leave the word convincing. Selling is a way of educating, is your way of educating or persuading someone or your customer, your clients to invest in you for the better future that you are promising them through your product or your service or whatever value you bring to the marketplace. That is what selling is. So why do people buy? That would be the next question. If selling is educating people and persuading them to invest in the better future of whatever it is you're promising, then why do people buy? That should be the next question you should ask yourself. We all buy things so that we can experience a better future, so that we can experience a better future adventure, whatever it is. But just know that whenever you go out there to buy something, you're buying because of the experience of a better future. All right. So when we make a decision to buy something, whatever it is we are buying as humans, we buy on emotion. We buy based on emotions and we justify it with what? Logic. That's just the simple truth. When you go out to buy something, you're buying that thing out of emotion, but most at times we justify it with logic so that it won't be, we'll tend to give ourselves a reasonable explanation why we're actually buying this. All right, so that's what happened naturally with human beings. Now, your understanding of we of human beings buying based on emotion and justifying it with logic, which is reason, giving themselves a reasonable explanation why they are buying that thing, while it's what to spend their money on that thing. If you can understand this process, trust me, you can sell to anyone. So having known this, then it's important for you to note that there are two types of emotion. Yeah, there are two types of emotion, because for you to understand humans emotion, you need to know the types of emotion so that you focus on the emotion that will trigger the decision making. All right, so we have what we call the emotion of pain, and we have what we call the emotion of happiness. All right, let me take that again. We have the emotion of pain, we have the emotion of happiness. So please type that down. We have the emotion of pain and we have the emotion of happiness. Now, naturally, naturally people want to move from pain to pleasure. They want to move from pain to heaven. Nobody wants pain. Nobody wants pain. If accidental, okay, like yesterday I was cooking and accidentally I cut my thumb and I was bleeding. I didn't want it. The first thing I did was to suspend my cooking to go look for a way to end the pain. All right. So naturally, I don't know why I don't do a lot of cutting, but I don't know why I sometimes end up cutting myself. That's why I avoid kitchen most of the times. But that doesn't mean I'm not a great cook. I'm a very, very good cook. All right. So most at times we not even most at times, all the time, as a human being, naturally we don't want pain. We don't like pain. We desire pleasure. We desire heaven. And we are ready to do whatever it takes to move us out from our pain to what? To heaven. All right. So if people learn through stories, when if people learn things easily through story, then you can use stories to educate and persuade anyone, or you can use story to help someone into making a decision easily. Remember, decision making is first emotional, then is justified with logic. So when you're telling story, you need to make sure that your story is emotional. People must feel the emotional value in your story, because if they can feel the emotional value in your story, then decision making comes faster. Now, it's because people are not able to feel, they are not able to connect. In fact, let me put it this way. The reason why customers don't buy from you is because you've not been able to get them to that level where they connect with you, or with your product or with your service emotionally. Because once the emotional connection is there, trust me when I say decision making comes faster. They can make decision right there and now. All right. But remember, it's also a process, because 99% of your sale comes from your follow up. Only 1% is achieved in the first sales conversation. Always bear that in mind. I know I've discussed about this in my previous series. All right. So you need to tell a story. You need to learn how to tell a story. Tell a story on how you can use your personal story when you are selling in your sales conversation. Learn to tell a story about how you came from your pain. Remember, story is an expression of images or a narration of something. Remember, story is an expression of images or a narration of something that shows people their desired results. So you, when you're telling a story, either your personal story or someone else's story, or you are creating a friction. A friction is something that it's not really a lie, but you just conjured it on your head and made it true. All right. It's more like a white lie. Let me use that word. Okay, so when you're telling story, if you're telling your story, you need to tell your story on how you came from your pain, or a case study of someone that came from pain, to how the product or the service that you are offering as a solution or as the value you're bringing to the marketplace was able to solve that problem for them. So you are recommending the product to them, that this can change your life because it changed my life, or it changed the life of XYZ. All right. So that should be the angle of your story. So have you guys noticed that people learn from other people's story in order to live a better life and make better decisions? I, for one, am very good at that. I'd rather learn from other people's experience than decide to do everything on my own, figure out everything on my own. So a lot of people learn from other people's stories in order to live a better life. And in living a better life, other people's story help us to make a better decision. That is another factor on how powerful storytelling is. Okay, so we all are programmed naturally, unconsciously, by the things we see and we hear. And I think that's why it's being said that we should, there's this saying, it's been said, a great man once said, I can't remember, he said, God, I think he's late Ubon King, blessed memory, late Ubon King. I think he said, we need to guide the gateways of our soul. All right, guard the gateways of your soul. But that is when we talk about guarding the gateways of your soul, we are talking about guiding what you see and what you hear, because the stories of what you see and what you hear can influence your decision and influence your life. And that's why you see, we successful people, we are very careful of what we see, we are very careful of what we hear. In fact, most times, each time I want to go to bed, when I'm online, I select what I want to see. I choose what I want to hear. I don't allow people to come out and talk to me or speak into my life anyhow. I choose who speaks into my life and who does not speak into my life in different areas of my life. All right. So you must understand that you can be programmed in a way through what you see or what you hear in order for you to get to a decision level. Okay, so that's a different topic, but let's get back to our storytelling and story selling. Um, um, let's get back to our storytelling and our story selling. We can discuss that later. All right. So please, hope you are gaining value. If you're gaining value, please give me a fire emoji. Those of us on YouTube, hope you're gaining value. Those of us on Zoom, hope you're gaining value because this section was specially for you guys on Zoom. But I decided to extend it on YouTube. All right, beautiful. Thank you. Fantastic. All right, so let's get back to decision making. Okay, so if you want your customers to make a decision in your favor, all right, you need to tell them a story. Now, when you're telling a story, with storytelling, decision making process becomes easy. I've mentioned this before. I think the weather is somehow hot. Don't worry, don't mind. It's Lagos. Assuming I was in Jos Plateau State, right now the weather is freaking cold. Okay, so okay, I think that's better. Okay, so decision making comes naturally. All right, decision making comes naturally. So with storytelling, you can easily sell to your customers. All right. So, for example, let me give you an example of storytelling, story selling. Many high advanced, will I call it, okay, in a negative way, people use this storytelling in a negative way to achieve their desire, to defraud people. For example, Yahoo boys. You see that Yahoo boys, they've advanced to a level whereby they scam people, more especially women. In fact, statistics shows that women between the age of 28 to 45 are being scammed easily. More especially these women, a research was done and we discovered that this set of women were at their point of vulnerability. All right, it's either something something something, but just know sure that there are different points of vulnerability, but they were able to be scammed because there are different points of vulnerability. And how was that possible? Because they were able to meet someone somewhere, either someone they knew before but disconnect and reconnected, or someone they didn't know anything about. But through storytelling, they were able to get them to make a decision to send money to them without thinking twice. That's how powerful storytelling can be. And that's a strategy I see Yahoo boys are using. But I'm not telling you this so that you start use it in a negative way. I'm teaching you this so that you can use it in a positive way to add value to the society and also you get your reward. Okay, so let's talk about the positive side, the positive angle of storytelling. Okay, so as a salesperson in your business, you can educate your customers or your ideal clients using storytelling. Okay, so when you use storytelling, it makes them understand your products better. That's number one. Remember, we said selling is your ability to educate or persuade people or help people to do what, to make a decision, to make a decision based on the desired or the guaranteed transformation you're showing them through your products, to make a decision in order to live or to invest with you for a better future. That is what selling is all about. All right. So when you tell stories, when you're telling story, you help your ideal clients, you help your customers to understand your products better or to understand your service better. And when they understand it better, it will move them from being a cold audience to a warm audience, and this will help them in decision making. Remember, in my previous video I taught us about the larger market formula, whereby out of the 27% market audience you have, 17% are ready to buy, but they want to carry out their investigation. They want to understand more about why they should buy from you. Yes, they know they need it, but they want to understand why they should buy from you. And that's where the education comes into play. All right. So every business owner, be you a salesperson, and every brand, we all tell story to express the heaven that you will experience. As that we tell story to express the heaven that our customers or our clients will experience through our services or our products. Okay, we show you how life can be better, how you can experience a better future through our products. That's what we do. I'm talking about professional business owners, salespersons, and brands. Okay, so as an entrepreneur, you need to affirm to yourself every day, I am a professional salesperson. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 years ago, that was 2017, when I started out majorly, 100% fully, full time in the business world. I saw a lot of things. I have a book here called My Daily Affirmation Book. I started writing this book since 2017. Now, I keep affirming to myself, because whatever you affirm with your mouth is a self prophecy. And when you keep affirming, in no distant time, your subconscious mind agrees with what you're saying, and that becomes the reality. So you need to keep affirming yourself. I am a professional salesperson. I am a professional this. I am smart. I am all those things all those things that you receive some negative voices in your head that you are not. Learn how to prophesy them every blessed day. Okay, so as a professional salesperson, you must learn how to tell story. Okay, so when you're telling story, you can achieve storytelling by visual, either through a movie, an advert, visual, just video, all right, or by spoken or written words, or by images. That's why they say fact tells, but story shows. Story sells because it shows you, and it creates an image of things in your head, and that helps you make decisions faster. All right. So as an entrepreneur or a business owner or a salesperson, you need to, sometimes we make the mistake of focusing on the problem. Sometimes you focus on the problem, and when you focus on the problem, you get obsessed with the problem you're trying to solve, and you forget the most important thing that you need to do. And that most important thing that you need to do is your ability to tell a story. Don't just focus on solving their problem, but tell them a story. Show them the guaranteed transformation that your product or your service offers them. What is in need for them? The WIIFM principle. If it's Lisa Nichols, I love the way she calls it, WIIFM. What's in it for me? Because if people cannot see what they are going to benefit, what is in it for them, then trust me, you will not be able to get them to a buying decision. All right. So always bear in mind that in business, whatever in business, whatever you are doing to solve people's problem, either using the value you bring to the marketplace through your product or your service, always bear in mind that your customers or your clients are the heroes of your story. Because in every storytelling, in every storytelling that you are selling out, in every storytelling, there's always a hero. In fact, in every story, there's always a hero. You know, in movies, we say actor and boss. All right, there's always a hero, and you need to know that as a business person, or as an entrepreneur, or as a salesperson, the hero in your story are your customers. The heroes of your story are your clients. You need to make them the heroes of your story, because if you don't make them the heroes of your story, then trust me, you will not have that what do we call it now, what do I call it now, you not have that testimony that will keep sustaining your business, because people need to access that this has worked for me, and if it has worked for me, it can work for others. All right, so all you need to do as a salesperson is to take the mind of your customers and your clients away from their problem, so that they can focus on other things. That's literally what you do, and you can achieve this through storytelling. If you can show someone how you can guarantee a desired result within a short period of time, making them lazy or do other things, trust me, you are made for life. So all you need to do as a salesperson is to take the mind of your customers away from their problem, getting them to focus on other things, and you taking responsibility to help them become heroes in your story. That's just the simple explanation. I hope someone is getting this. Please, if you're getting value from this, type value in the comment section. I believe you're following what I'm saying. Those of us on Zoom, how far? All right, Mr. Chooks, beautiful. Thank you very much. Okay, so storytelling is about helping someone. Just that's just like the basic explanation of everything I've been trying to say. It's about helping someone. So as an entrepreneur, you need to find a problem first, then provide a solution to solve it. Find something that you're good at. For those of us that are entrepreneur minded, but you don't have a product or a business, find something you're good at, then solve it. Prefer a solution and solve it. All right. Now, to be when you're finding something you're good at, you need to make sure that you develop your professionalism in that field, in that area, because we are the heroes of each other's story. When your clients become heroes in your story, literally that same story, in your own version, they are your heroes. In their own version, you are their heroes. So guess what? We all are what? We all are each other's heroes in each other's story. Okay, so when you're telling a story, your story must answer the question, like I said before, what is in need for me? Your customers, in their mind, when you're selling something to them, they're asking themselves, what's in need for me? What will I benefit from this thing? Okay, so what is in need for them? What will make them the heroes of your story? Your story must answer that question. Okay, for example, look at the story of Coca-Cola and Bonvita. You can see the way Coca-Cola keep expressing and showing how we are the heroes of their story. Coca-Cola give you the experience and the expression of an exotic feeling when you take that drink shield. You're burning out, you're hot, you're tired. Now, Bonvita gives you that experience of energy. Once you just take it, you become very strong. When especially they've been able to program our mind that all our children need Bonvita. Without Bonvita, your child will not have a strong teeth. They will be lacking calcium. All right, they will not have enough energy to win games in school. So we are the heroes in their story. Okay, so you need to know the full meaning of the word story. Story is also an acronym, STORY. Okay, so the S in story stands for setting. What's the setting in your story? What's the situation that you want to bring about in your story? All right, so the T stands for who are the characters, the talking characters in your story. Who are the main people involved in your story? You must be able to answer this question in order for you to tell a very great story. Okay, so the C stands for obstacles. Sorry, the O, I've talked about S. S is setting, the situation that you're trying to create and solve. Now, T is the talking characters. Who are the people involved? It could be you, it could be a case study, it could be a friction. All right. The O is what? Obstacles. What are the obstacles? What are the problems that is being faced with what? What are the problems that your customers, your ideal clients are facing? How can you interact with them to solve their problem? Okay, so that's for obstacle. Then the R, resolution. What is the resolution? What's the how will you resolve the obstacle? Okay, so how do they resolve the situation? How does the story end? Is it a happy ending or is it a sad ending? I remember in school literature, they were teaching something about tragedy, something, different kinds of story endings, stuff like that. When they were talking about Romeo and Juliet and those and the likes of them. I didn't attend English classes, but when it comes to every literature, when I was done having bad grades in English, whenever I go home to visit my dad, because every year I go to Jos, since they deported me to the village to stay with my granddad and school in the east, every August, that's the only time I have to spend time with my family in Jos. So I go there to visit them. So whenever I go to visit, that is when I will go and look for all the literature books that they ask us to read. I don't go looking for the book. I'll go and look for the movie. Then I'll watch the movie. That's what I do. Okay. So in those movies, there's things like Romeo and Juliet, happy ending, happy beginning, sad ending, stuff like that, Hamlet, and the rest of them. But all of you understand what I'm saying. Resolution means how will the story end? How were you able to resolve the obstacle, okay, that they are being faced? You must show that in your story. Okay, then why is it relevant to them? That is what why stands for. What is the message that you want to convey to them? Now, is at this point of showing relevance and conveying the message, that is where decisions are being made. So you need to show your clients why whatever it is you're selling to them is relevant to them, how is important to them, why they need it. You need to express all this in your story. So if your story is not relatable, if your story is not relevant, there will be no story at all. And that is why it's very important that your story is relatable and relevant. Now, STORY, everything that the S, which is sustainability, the T, which is a talking character, the O, which is the obstacle, the R, which is the resolve, and the Y, which is relatability. Now, if the Y, relatability or relevance, is lacking, you're not having a story. You're just having a store, STOR, and that is the reason your customers don't buy from you. That is the reason you can't bring them to make a decision. All right. So, having understood that, let's talk about the 4 T's of storytelling. Okay. In the next 15 minutes, we should be done. All right. So, the 4 T's of storytelling. But please, if you're gaining value, please type in the comment section. If you have questions, just hold your questions at the end. Just type it immediately at the end. All right. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. So hope we are gaining value. If you can hear me, please type 1 1. If you're gaining value from this, type the fire emoji. Those of us that are just connecting, you're welcome to Eminent Augusta TV channel. My name is Eminent Augusta. And today we are talking about how you can use storytelling to sell to your customers or your clients without actually selling to them, but helping them make a decision, a buying decision to buy from you immediately. All right. So do well to like this live, copy the link, share with your friends, get them to join us, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you can receive more valuable content like this that can help you grow in your personal life, your business life, and your finance. All right. So having said that, let's get back to what are the 4 T's of storytelling. Okay. So the 4 T's of storytelling. Now, whenever you're telling a story, you must pay attention to these 4 T's, because these 4 things must not lack in your story. If it's lacking in your story, then trust me, you will not be able to bring your customers to a buying decision. And remember, decision making is key. The goal of a sales conversation is to help your customer or your ideal client understand the need, understand their need, whether they are aware of it or not. Then you recommend a solution, which is your product or service, and help them make a decision, educate them, persuade them, help them to make a decision to do what? To invest into the transformation you are offering them by buying from you. All right. So the first T is trial. Your story must talk about the trial. It could be a personal trial or a community trial. What's the trial? What's the tragedy? What happened? For example, last year January, I was at a point where I lost my dad. I was broken because everything in me went with him. He was the reason why I've been excelling in the business world. But the moment he died, something in me disappeared, left with him. So I was as of this time last year, I lost my dad. I was broken. I lost my business because of my emotional state. I made bad business decision. I lost my business, so I was broke and broken. So that's my trial. You see, I'm now telling you a story using the 4 T of storytelling. Okay, now what's the second T is what? Tragedy. The trial was that I lost my dad. I was broken. The tragedy, which is the second T, is what? I lost my business as a result of my unstable state emotionally. Okay, so the tragedy is what happened to you or what happened through you. Now, the third T is what? Tension. I lost my dad, which was the trial. I lost my dad and was broken. Tragedy, I lost my business. Tension, I was broke, no cash flow, no money. There was a tension. What should I do? Should I? Plenty things were just coming. Should I go seek for a job? Should I do this? Should I? I was broke and I had a lot of bills to pay and I was in debt. That's tension. See now, I'm telling you my story. Okay, so tension is about the hard decision you had to make or the obligation you had to take in order to resolve your current situation. And guess what? I made a hard decision to disconnect from the entire world and take a different dimension to life. That was my decision. So transition, that's the fourth T, transition or triumph. Now, because as a result of the decision I made and the obligation I held to myself, I was able to take a different path, and that different path gave me my transformation, gave me my desired victory, and it launched me into a higher level of myself. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my victory. So, the fourth T is what? What is the transformation that happened as a result of life, as a result of what life forced on me or forced on you? I'm just using me as a case study. I'm using myself as an example. Or what was the what was what how do I put it now? What was integrated by someone or chosen by you during the transformation? Okay, so I just use my story as an example, explaining the four T's of trial, tragedy, tension, and transition or triumph. All right, so when you're telling a story, always make sure that your story have elements of trial, tragedy, tension, and what? Triumph or the transition. Okay, so I don't know if there's any entrepreneur minded person listening to me right now. If you are here, I'm speaking right now specifically to you. I want to speak to that entrepreneur minded person listening to me right now or watching me right now. Yes, you. So even if you don't, why do I want to speak to you? Because I know you may be like, everything I'm saying, I'm talking about business owners and all whatnot. I have entrepreneur spirit in me. I have the mind of entrepreneurship, but I don't have a product. I don't have a service. What can I do? Now, this is what you need to do. If you don't have a product and you don't have a service to render, or maybe you are a 9 to 5 kind of person, you have a job, you're an employee, but you want to start building something for yourself, for an extra source of income. You want to start selling something. You need a product or service you can start selling. You want to do something for yourself. You can start off with number one, clarity. Ask yourself this question: what am I good at? Because if you don't gain clarity, the path for you to take will not be clear. You'll be confused. And when you're not confused, you'll not be able to make a decision. And when you are in a state of indecision, then you'll be living other people's life. Anybody that suggests anything, you go with it. And that's you living a fake life. You're not living life for yourself. So you must gain clarity. So gaining clarity, you must ask yourself, what am I good at? That was this question I'm giving you right now are the questions I asked myself at this time last year. By this time last year, when I lost everything, I have to ask myself, what am I good at? What do I love doing? What do people need? And who are the people willing to pay me for my services? Now, if you can ask yourself these 4 questions, trust me when I say you will be able to, you will not only gain clarity, you'll be able to identify problems that you can solve. Then you go about your way, becoming professional and good in that area, then provide your product, your value, or your service to the marketplace and amaze your customers, as long as you're solving people's problem. So if you have the solution to a problem and you are good at it and people need it and people can pay for it, then I can assure you that you are in business already. But you need to ensure that your product, your value, or your service, whatever it is that you're bringing to the marketplace, you must ensure that it's sustainable, meaning you have a system that will consistently deliver the value that you are promising people, the promise of the value that you are promising people that your products will offer in an amazing way, because you must learn how to amaze your customers in the marketplace. In today's business world, that the competition is off the roof. Now, don't focus on competition. You're not in competition with anybody. Competition is good, yes, but in order for you to grow and strive in your own path, you must pay attention to yourself. Now, Les Brown will always say, learn how to amaze your customers. Do not focus on competition. He said, I don't compete, rather I create. And one of my uncle G, Grant Cardone, he said, don't compete, but create. So choose to create by challenging yourself every day. You are your highest competition. All right. So make sure that whatever you do at the end of the day, you are giving an amazing result, an amazing you're amazing your customers. Let's just leave it at that. So you must ensure that you must ensure that whatever it is that you finalize on doing, you are consistent with it and it generates cash flow. Please let me repeat myself. Ensure you are consistent with it. Ensure you have a system that can consistently deliver that value. But more importantly, ensure that you have a cash flow. Why? Because trust me, you don't want to end up with passion and skills and yet you cannot monetize it. The world is already full of enough people who are skillful but are still broke. So you don't want to find yourself where you are saying, I have passion, and yet you're not making money from your passion. So you have to bear that in mind because it can be tricky. Okay, so ensure that your solution or your value is sustainable, is useful, and you are very certain that the desired transformation that you are promising, that your value fulfills all the promises. Because if it doesn't fulfill all the promises, that will be a bad remark on your side, and you're going to lose relationship. And those relationships are things that can even give you recommendations to people. Now you are reduced, you're on the losing end. All right. So once you gain clarity on what you can do, then the next thing you need to do is to market yourself. Market yourself using a mission statement. And the simplest mission statement I can think of right now is, remember, sales is about you helping people. So storytelling is about you helping people. So it's all about, I help people to achieve, you state the need or the pain or the problem. I help people achieve X, Y, Z without ABC, without the fear of crossing the bridge to heaven using AZ. So, for example, I help entrepreneurs who have enough useless marketing strategy to go from storytelling to story selling to grow their business. Now, that's an example of mission statement. So, once you gain clarity, the next thing you need to do is to carve out your mission statement. Like right now, one of my mission statements is, I help business owners and entrepreneurs to increase their sales by gaining global visibility on their brands using my LOC formula without having them to spend huge capital on growing and expanding their business online and offline. Now, guess what? I identified the need, I identified the problem, I was able to solve it, and I showed them how I was going to achieve it. So that's the simplest way of carving out a mission statement for yourself. All right. So having said that, we'll be concluding with two things. I know some of you say, okay, if I can tell a story, some of you have experienced, okay, I do tell stories, but yet people don't buy. Why? Now, there are 4 secrets why people don't buy from you. The first is, people don't buy from you, number one, because they don't have a need. They don't need your product. They don't need your service. If you can understand the principle of the larger market formula, you will know that you are not called to serve everybody. Everybody is not your customer. You cannot serve everybody, and everybody will not buy from you. Your understanding of the larger market formula and understanding the pyramid of the market, it will put you in a place where you can focus on the percentage of people who you can convert from a cold market to a warm market, and finally getting them to like, know, and trust you and buy from you. The 60% of the market, ladies and gentlemen, don't need your product. 27% need it, but out of the 27%, 10% are not even aware that they need your product, meaning that's where the education comes into play. 17% are aware that they need your product, but guess what? They need more information. They need to understand how your service, your solution can satisfy their need. Why the remaining 3%? They need your products, they are hot, they are ready to buy. But that is where everybody's attention is, and that's why it's competitive. All right. So the number one reason why people don't buy from you is because they don't need your product. So mark the keyword there, need. So you must make sure that the people you're having interaction with are those that actually need your product, or they need it but they don't know. And don't waste your energy on people that don't even need it at all. All right. Using the market triangle, I'll call it, I think it's 20 30 30 20. So meaning a ups and what do they call, a pyramid, but it's more like an upside down pyramid, like this, something like that. So the larger portion are more like everybody in the market. That's where I call the 40%. The second portion of the triangle, inverted triangle upside down, are the people that are not even aware they need your product. The third section are, they are aware they need it and they need it. Why the last section, they don't even need it. All right. So you need to pay attention to the word need. The second reason why people don't buy from you is there is no urgency in your sales conversation with them. There was no urgency. You make them feel like they can always have it anytime they want. If they don't have that urgency that they need to invest in you for a better future for them, then they cannot buy from you. And that's why one of the elements of sales when it comes to copywriting is urgency. There are 4 elements that must be in your sales conversation if you really want to close sales, and that is found in copywriting. And these are the things I teach a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs who are under my inner circle, who are under my mentorship, people that sign up for my mentorship. I have different levels of mentorship I offer to people. So if you're here, you're interested in my mentorship or my coaching section, then you can book for a free consultation using the link below. I can help you dissect. It could even be your life self. Maybe you have nothing doing, you are looking for something to get started. I can help you gain clarity and also help you on the journey to getting your desired business, your desired product, your desired service, or your already existing business or service in order for you to scale from there. So use the link down the description below. You connect with me directly on WhatsApp. The link is saying chat with Eminent Augusta. You connect with me directly on WhatsApp. Okay, I can help you on your journey in that angle. So urgency is very important, and urgency is a very important element in copywriting when it comes to making people buy from you. Remember, there are different strategies. I'm just focused on storytelling. That's one way. There are other ways of ensuring you make sales, getting your customer to make a decision. All right. So that is it. And the third one is the reason why people are not buying from you is because there's not enough resources for them to make a decision. Or or it could be that they are not decision makers. There are some people at the end of the day, they say, I want to go and pray. I want to go and speak to. The moment you see, I want to go and speak to, you ask them the question, does it mean right now, if nobody existed, those people you want to go and speak to didn't exist, does it mean right now you can't make a decision for yourself? So there are people that they are not decision makers. No matter what you say, they are not decision makers. They'll have to go seek for that person that will make the decision for them. So don't feel bad when you meet this kind of people. But on a second thought, it could be that they are decision makers, but they've not had enough understanding of what you are trying to sell. Okay, that's another reason. The fourth is there's no trust. Your customers don't trust you enough to transact with you. So meaning the problem you're having could be you're not nurturing them well. And that is why the mother of success in every business is consistency. You can't just start something and you don't see result and you decide to give up. Consistency, when you keep being consistent, you could meet. Consistency gives you the opportunity to meet your clients, to meet your customers at different phases of their mind. And it could be in the first, second, 10, 12, 15th call through your follow-up, or the 100th call through your follow-up. That's how powerful consistency is. Okay, so pay attention to these 4 areas. This could be why they are not buying from you, and know how you can, what you need to stop doing and what you need to start doing in order to close in the gap on your sales. Okay, so I'll be finalizing with this. When we talk about trust, people transact or do business with people they know, they like, and they trust. So when we talk about trust, trust comes in different levels. But let's talk about the 4 levels. There are 4 levels of trust. I would like to call them the ABCD of trust. All right. So let's talk about A. What is A? A is ability. Now, do you have the ability and the capacity to give your customer all that you've promised? Everything that your product or your service is promising, can you fulfill it? So if your sales conversation and your storytelling does not show your customers your ability, then trust will be an issue. The B is what? Okay, sorry, believable. Now, the guaranteed transformation that your solution provides, is it believable? Sometimes when people say things, they're like, it's too good to be true. Yeah. And when people see things that are too good to be true, they'll rather prefer to stay in hell than to go to heaven. They'll prefer to stay in their pain than to go to heaven. So you need to break that barrier of too good to be true. All right. Then the C stands for connected. Abi? Yeah. Connected or connectedness. Now, you need to ensure that in your storytelling and your sales conversation, your customers are able to connect with you. They are able to feel and sense your genuine care for them. And that's why in a sales call, you need to talk about them and not about you. The conversation, everything should be about them. What's in it for them? Don't talk about you. Don't talk about your product. It's all about them. Okay, so you need to sincerely support your customers, and they need to feel it. They need to feel that sincerity. And that's where your storytelling comes into play. Okay, so the D in trust is what? Is it deliver? Yeah, you must be able to deliver, deliverability, something like that. All right, pardon my English. I missed my English classes. But you guys get the gist, right? Now, your ability to deliver means your solutions are capable and credible to give the desired results that you promised, of the guaranteed heaven, of the better future of your promise. So in order to make people, make people trust you more when it comes to deliverability, you can use testimonials, other people's story, your story, other people's story. Now, if you don't have a story, you can use other people's story. More especially, many online entrepreneurs are just starting out, affiliate marketers and the rest. You're starting out in a business and you have nothing to show. How do you use testimony? You use other people's story. I've done that before. I can remember when I started a particular business venture 2017. I had no testimony of my own. But mentally, I already saw my testimony as a proof of other people's testimony. So I use other people's testimony, and it works for me every now and then whenever I want to venture into something new. I use other people's testimony. I build up, and as I'm building up, I start using my own testimony. So testimonies are very, very important in gaining the trust of your customers. All right. So ensure you use these 8 points that I think is the 8 points I just talked about, and make sure they are not missing in your storytelling. Okay, because with this, trust me, I can guarantee you can always make consistent sales using this strategy of storytelling to story selling. But remember, during your sales conversation with your clients, before you tell a story, it's very important at the beginning of your conversation, you listen to them. Because it's when you listen attentively to your ideal customers, you'll be able to identify their need and want. Remember, one of the first reasons why they are not buying from you is because they don't need it. or you are not even addressing their need. So your ability to identify their need puts you in a position whereby you can solve their problem. So let's talk about human needs. We all have needs. In fact, there are 6 types of human needs that you need to pay attention to. If you're starting up in your business as an entrepreneur, or you already have your product or your service, but you want to identify who your ideal clients are, then you can use these 6 needs, the 6 human needs strategy to know who you are called to serve. The first is certainty. Now, you need to ask yourself, your products, people need things in order to gain certainty, like guarantee. You must guarantee. How will I put it now? Okay, let's put it this way. You must guarantee your customers a sense of security, a sense of safety. They must feel safe with you. Now, if that need of certainty is not achieved, then you've not actually solved their problem. The second type of human need is variety. Okay, ensure you have variety in your solution. Don't just have one. Give them, recommend other things. One way doesn't always fit up. There are different ways to arrive at the number of the to arrive at number 10. Okay, so make sure that your product or your service satisfy the excitement level of your customers. Make sure it brings excitement to them. Okay, because most people just want to pay for something that brings excitement in their life. I'm one of them. In fact, my own is in the angle of adventure. All right. So that is it. So I love adventure a lot. Trust me. Personally, I love adventure. If something is not challenging to me, it's boring to me. And that's my make. That's the way I'm programmed. When things are so easy and going well, it's boring. So I love adventure because adventure helps me to tap into my what will I call it? I'm gifted. I'm gifted. I have a high sense of perception, and that's my word. So let me don't go into that. Let's leave that. Okay, but you must make sure that whatever you are solving satisfy the excitement of people. All right. Then number 3 is significance. Ensure your product or your service make people feel good about themselves. Okay, it makes them feel good. Then number 4, the fourth one is connection. People spend money, or people have the need to connect. People always want to connect with someone that is great, or connect with a cause or a vision that is bigger than themselves. So ask yourself, is your product offering this? Some people need is just growth. So ask yourself, can my product ensure that it satisfies the need or the want or the hunger of my customers to grow and improve themselves? Because many of your customers, if you have just one product, it's not all of them that need that product. So it's always good to have different things in order to satisfy different people, different categories of your customer. All right. Then number 6 is the last one is contribution. Some people, the only need they have right now is they just want to give back to the society. So is your service giving them the opportunity where they can give back to the society? And you need to know that if your customers and your clients are not making enough, they've not gotten to that level of abundance, then it will be an issue. They can't give back to the society. So I know now your next question will be, Eminent Augusta, what are those things people are willing to pay for? Because your ability to understand need, then you'll be able to know the things people are willing to pay for. So I'll be wrapping up with this. We've taken too much time. In the next 10 minutes, I'll be out of here. Okay, so number 1, let's talk about this. There are 7 in number. There are 7 things people are willing to drop their money for. Your understanding of this can help you direct your product or your service in to fit into the need of people. Okay, so number 1 is security, protection. People can pay money to protect themselves. Number 2 is to look good. Looking good is good business, and that's the fashion industry. So people pay money to look good. Number 3 is to have a new experience, some sort of adventure. Someone like me, it's only things that I can spend my money on things that are adventurous to me, that makes me feel, that give me that sense of adventure. All right. Number 4 is what? to save time and improve performance. People can pay money, can spend money on things that will help them save time and help them improve performance. Like many of you here on Zoom call, you paid me to mentor and coach you because I have guaranteed you the transformation. I can save your time and I can improve your performance. Now, some people pay money, the fifth one, for a better relationship. For example, when you see people doing the things you want to do, then you can pay to gain access to their circle. You pay to gain access to relationship, and that is when mentorship comes into play. Many of you on YouTube, you love what I'm doing, but you know you don't have direct access to me. And that is why I'm going to drop a link for you down the description where you can have direct access to me. Now, mentorship is very, very important in every area of life. So you have to pay your way for mentorship. Don't say, hey, I'm seeing all of them on YouTube. Everything we are saying on YouTube for free, there are behind the scene that we are not telling you. That is the truth. The behind the scene is the reality of the execution of action that we are not telling you. Because trust me, entrepreneurship is a lonely journey. So you need someone that have been there, done that, that can guide you as you're acting on what you are learning. When you're making your mistakes, who do you ask? And mentors help you shorten your distance of trial and error and show you the path of things not to do so that you don't repeat the same mistakes like they, but you still make your mistake, but it will be smaller. Okay, so the sixth one is people pay money in order to feel good. And that's where you talk about the food industry, health industry, entertainment industry. The last one is people pay money to make money. If you want to make money in this life, you must spend money to make money. But it starts with your ability it starts with your confidence level. How confident and courageous are you that you can make money? You can do what other people are doing to make money. And yes, you can. And the moment you tell yourself you can, then the next thing is pay to gain access to the information, pay to gain access, pay to access the information, and pay for mentorship and coaching. You cannot produce a premium result or live a successful life with free things. There's no free food in Freetown. So learn how to pay. If you don't pay, you will not be paid. And if you don't pay the price for something, then you will not get the reward. So don't be scared to pay. Learn how to pay for something, okay? Don't stop that mentality of free. That mentality of free is the reason why a lot of people are poor and still where they are today. And that's why you see rich and successful people, we don't think twice. We pay for what we want because we know the principle. And we know how fast it will give us the guaranteed results we want. All right. So with these few things I've mentioned right now, I believe with this you now understand the need. You can create your products, you can sell anything to anybody once you can understand the need. And remember, whenever you are telling a story, always appeal to your customers, or appeal to their emotion. What is the need for me? Always use that principle. Okay, so finally, always tell a story that is relatable. This will make your customers and your clients connect with you emotionally. Remember, when they connect with you, people make decision, or people buy because of emotions. All right, very, very important. So at this point, I'll be ending this video here. Those of us on Zoom, you already know what to do. Drop your questions in the group, in the inner circle group. Those of us on YouTube, drop your question in the down below the comment section. We'll take it from there. And don't forget to like this video if you gain value from this video, and also subscribe if you're new here. Trust me, you are going to be receiving a lot of valuable content from this channel. So I remain my humble self, Eminent Augusta. See you on our next episode. Have a great day.